It doesn't really involve anything. The right teachings must come from filial piety towards parents, respectfully, director, practicing according to the teachings, and achieving success in the right way. So this is something we absolutely must understand. When reading the Mahayana sutras and texts, we can't just gloss over it. We need to really take it in. Looking again, there's a non-toxic response. The answer is, there is indeed a place. I can tell you with absolute certainty, it really does exist. Well, in this world, it really is quite something. In this cycle of rebirth, the other realms have limited opportunities for creation. In the human realm, there are many chances to create. There are just too many opportunities for creation in the human realm. Celestial beings are good, virtuous, and kind. It's only beings like asuras. Temper is the beginning. Still continuing on. Beings of the Buddhist path. We're talking about the realm of hungry ghosts. In that realm, the path is one of suffering. There's absolutely no chance to move forward. The realm of hungry ghosts and the asterisk realm. How many opportunities are there for creation? Poisonous snakes and dragon beasts. That heart is very toxic. He also kills other beings, killing those with a conscience. How many lives can he take in his lifetime? We can see. For tigers, these fierce beasts. You see, when he's had his fill, the little animals just wander around nearby, and it's like he doesn't even notice them. We often see these amazing animal spectacles on TV, don't we? In his whole life, he hardly kills any beings, does he? It's not like people are out there killing a lot. That person doesn't have to eat it to live. So it's the easiest to create karma. Being able to kill isn't just for the sake of eating someone. Just look at what we've created today. One of those nuclear bombs goes off to kill hundreds of thousands, even millions of people. So the sins created are quite heavy. Why doesn't he create hell? Where does status come from? It's shaped by property. Absolutely not. Restlessness isn't created by spirits or demons. It's a manifestation of our own karma. Do we see it again? Here it asks, how can I be restrained now? The woman from the Florentine asked, King of the poisonous ghosts, why have I ended up in this place? He was quite surprised himself. Boundless joy. If it weren't for the power of the divine, would it be possible for Jericho to reach this state in both worlds? This just explains that, like we mentioned earlier about the story of Zhong Taiyang. He didn't create the medicine for hell. It's not the Bodhisattvas either. So, hell is right in front of him, but he can't see it. If it's not for these two reasons, even if you walk into hell, you won't see anything at all. It must be set because of these two conditions. The first condition is that the Bodhisattvas go to help beings. This is where they encounter the second type of karma, which is the sins you commit that lead to hell. The consequences of karma and emotions. The saintess then asks, why is the water so far away? And it brings many sinners and evil beasts to eternal suffering. This is asking for guidance on this water. Why? Eternal happiness is like boiling water. The hot spot isn't just 2 points. It's like the ocean boiling. Just like that water boiling. This ocean, that's the situation. So many sinners and evil beasts are drifting in this water. Current situation. A situation. The discussion on language is explained in great detail. It addresses this phenomenon, the reasoning. This phenomenon. The reasoning. They all tell us, the so-called practice is about receiving. The 6 types of karmic retribution are eating is like inhaling. You've created these 10 types of unwholesome actions. It's about the information on the top quality food in the realm of consumption. Have you felt the karmic retribution of the 6 realms in hell? If you don't read the great teachings, then at this moment, you're just talking about the form. Creating evil beings, those whose hearts are dead. Yeah, later on, the situation we saw inside the door. Vaguely possessing the body, it's our sphere. It's not from somewhere else. It's from our local area. Yeah, those whose hearts are dead. After nearly 49 days. No one is involved and, without doing any good deeds, they just endure suffering. Life and death have no wholesome causes. When you dwell in your original karma, the desires naturally arise. And first, you must cross this sea. Damn. We read this line about all living beings. Thinking about these techniques of the golden tubes and fine hairs, it's not talking about others, it's about ourselves. We all share the same thoughts and intentions, and our words create actions. Just like it says in the Kitagaba Sutra about the 5 non-sins. Now we're constantly creating thoughts, every single day, non-stop. What do you do when you can't catch your breath? This is exactly what the Buddha's teachings say. Sentient beings are the result, and Bodhisattvas are the cause. Stay alert up top. Just a little bit of energy, huh? Charming, isn't it? The state newspaper has no cash and doesn't care. Don't believe it. Karma has limits. Once it's done, there's no room for regret. So it tells us to cut off attachments and cultivate ourselves. I am sage. The fundamental principles Buddhism gives. What's mentioned in the sutras? 3 types of diligence. Floating up high. The Buddha spoke so clearly, so plainly. These 3 types are the right causes of diligence for all the Buddhas across the 3 times. This is the mountain. Once I do good, it's like I'm doing evil. Opposite side of bedroom. In this life, are our actions aligned with goodness, or are they the opposite of it? The opposite, that's creating karma, huh? It's infinitely responsive. On the contrary, that's creating karma, huh? Infinitely responsive. Blessings are found among humans' gods, because the consequences of our actions align with the 3 paths which lead to hell. In the quiet night, the first line is about the blessings of humans and gods. It can be done. In the next life, the paths of humans and gods are quite similar. Hard to achieve. Depends on your sins. Karma is heavy. These 3 paths lead to retribution. The 3 paths exist. The birthplace of the devil. It depends on the severity of your actions. The second point is about sinking and floating. If you want to be able to resonate with it, practice according to the teachings. The retribution is definitely bestowed from above. If you've got some skill in your practice, right up to the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd realms. That's the 5 paths of non-return, close to the heavens, just like that. The kingdom of Wu has gone against it. Decided in hell, the devil faces retribution. There's no birth. Come on, have a look at how in the human realm there's the retribution for being born. This. In hell, where the devil gets their due. Why is that? The second banner is bigger than the first one. So if you become a Buddha and then go against it, you'll fall and suffer greatly. Is it the same principle? The third point is about the great vehicle of Buddhist retribution. You need to follow the teachings. If you've become a Bodhisattva and transcended to the sacred, but then you go against it, that's about overcoming resistance. It's not that the devil is definitely born to the end. Because we need to make it very clear and understandable, right? The Lee family understands it all, right? Only then can we have unwavering faith. Where do we practice in our daily lives? With a united mind, we take action. Every thought should resonate with the Buddha. Every thought should resonate with the Tao. What is the Tao? It is the true nature of self-confidence to resonate with. In this life, we seek to be reborn. How can that be done? How can you find me again? Life is short. Wukikshin in this modern era. The turmoil of the whole world. Disasters are unpredictable, aren't they? You must awaken too. Everything in this world. Like an illusion, like a dream. It's all the same, no one can get it. This is true. Let's take a look at the recent economic downturn in Southeast Asia. How much? You usually see those who are wealthy and well off. It's quite impressive. I heard someone talking about suicide. Why did they end life after bankruptcy? The scriptures say that it belongs to the 5 families collectively. I can understand that others don't get involved. Look, think about it. That's when we have hope. The Buddha often says, wealth, lust, fame, food, and taxes. The 5 desires lead to the 5 roots of hell. If the wind is clinging to greed, the realms of hell mentioned in the Earth Store Sutra are indeed a part of it. The realm that the Brahmin woman saw. Just look at how many beings on this earth are creating property, right? It's not saying that in here only those who believe in Buddha will fall into hell, while those who don't believe won't. That's just not true. If it's the case that non-believers don't go to hell, then why should we even believe in Buddha? No matter if you believe or not, non-believers still end up in hell, right? Non-believers end up in hell too. It doesn't matter whether you believe. You cultivate yourself or decide to create a life in heaven or choose to fall. There's a reason behind it, regardless if you believe it. For those whose hearts have passed on, it's been 49 days now. I have descendants who can offer blessings for him. After this person passed away, they became a chess piece. This principle, the practices, all stem from the third point. It's mentioned in the Buddhist scriptures. This person, after death, it hasn't arrived yet. You go on to be reborn for other reasons. This is the intermediate state. In the intermediate state, every 7 days, there's a transformation of life and death. But he is suffering a lot. So, we perform a ritual for him every 7 days. This temple for guiding the deceased helps to reduce his suffering. We help him spiritually. Life and death are influenced by good causes. What good deeds have been done? When someone is destined for hell based on their karma, they naturally undergo the guiding process without anyone forcing them. This realm isn't designed by anyone, not even King Yama. It happens naturally. This realm isn't designed by anyone, not even King Yama. Naturally. Karma learning. This phenomenon can't just happen out of nowhere. Let's keep going and see the results. Right? There's also a game with the wrist, and it brings a lot of suffering. To the east of the bottom sea, there's another sea, and it's filled with even more sorrow. The deeper you go in. To the east of the bottom sea, there's another sea, and it's filled with even more sorrow. The further you go inside, establishing a foundation in the middle. The suffering of blessings and longevity. It's much more than what you can see. It needs to be increased many times over. What you're seeing now is the first layer of the sea. This is what you see from the actions taken. You haven't seen it when it's that concentrated. Right. Good deeds attract good outcomes, while bad deeds bring about negative consequences. The collective sea of karma. Who can escape it? What you're seeing here is what the Buddha talks about in the scriptures as the sea of thoughts. The night sea is a sea of suffering. War. Karma arises from intention. Creating unwholesome actions is unjust. That's how you get retribution. Set at 50. The 10 Dharma realms should enter the world. This phenomenon, it's all from the mind. Offering, the Avatamsaka. The scriptures talk about a general principle, an overarching guideline. What the mind manifests is all just a reflection of consciousness. What the mind transforms, there's no reality in it. When there's no time, there's no place for delusions and distinctions. All must know, delusions are the alaya consciousness. Attachment is the moha, and discrimination is the sixth consciousness. If we don't use 80. No need for 80. The heart belongs to 51. That's the realm. That's cherished by the mind and manifested by the mind. The Buddha in the scriptures calls it the one true Dharma seal. If you get caught up in delusions, distinctions, and attachments, then you've lost the one true Dharma seal, and changes start to arise within it. What transforms with time follows your karma. This karma is where delusions and distinctions arise. manifesting the 10 Dharma realms. 10 isn't just a number. You've got to understand this, right? Every moment expresses the infinite. You see, everyone has different delusions, distinctions, and attachments. They're not the same, right? Each person manifests their own realm differently. Please, may the realms of Dharma be infinite and boundless. If you get caught up in the arrogance of greed, the realm that manifests from that is what we're talking about here, and it's quite severe. This is what the Brahmin woman personally witnessed. After reading the scriptures, the saint asked the king where the hell of no master's karma is. He came to ask us where we are located, right? The extent is greater than the 10 major realms within the 3 seas. For example, the Night Sea that we see today, that's what this is. There are hundreds and thousands, each differing from the other. The vast regions, along with the lower regions that radiate out. The so-called great refers to the 18, which is what we commonly talk about in this world as the 18 levels of hell. The 18 hells refer to the larger ones. Is it true that there are 500 kinds of suffering, countless hardships, and endless pain? What is mentioned in this great Earthfish Sutra is about the cold and the sun. The Buddha often tells us that the great hells are located beneath the iron encircled mountain. Let's look at the scriptures. The saintess then asked the great king of ghosts, my mother, has recently passed away, and I don't know her condition. When it comes to living, he's inquiring about his own matters. He told the 5 degrees of ghosts, my mother passed away. It hasn't been long, so I don't know the current situation. Where is his soul? What about the souls of people in our world? Your Majesty asked the Holy Lady, Bodhisattva's mother, about the evil fire industry she was reborn into. This is asking him, what profession did your mother engage in while she was alive? Knowing which profession she was involved in will help us understand the good and bad karma she created. Generally, can we determine where someone goes after they die? Justice is greater than my mother's schemes. Understandings untrue. This is just like the right and the wrong. What does it mean to be righteous and proper? We need to be clear, make sound judgments. To be honest, the ordinary folks in the 6 realms are all misguided. This is something we must know. If we have right understanding and proper conduct, how do we return to the 6 realms? Beyond the 6 realms, the sound hearers are the enlightened ones. The Bodhisattvas are the perfectly enlightened ones. The sound hearers are the enlightened ones. Bodhisattva is the perfectly enlightened one. Then the king of ghosts asked this Brahmin woman, it's your mother. This refers to her as the Bodhisattva, the mother of the Bodhisattva, before the next life. What profession did she engage in? The Brahmin woman said her mother was wicked. Right and wrong. It needs to be marked. In the teachings of Buddhism, only between the arhats can we talk about politics and governance. O Buddha, said scripture, remind me, before attaining the state of an arhat, you can't trust your own understanding. Don't think that your own understanding is correct. That's where the problem arises. Why is it said that only the arhat's understanding counts as political understanding? The arhat has already cut off the afflictions of perception. It should be about looking at things objectively. It's easy to understand this, right? Because it doesn't involve me. They asked me. I broke it. When ordinary beings in the 6 realms have a shared thought, there's a mother, and with a mother comes prejudice. There are subjective views. You will naturally see everything incorrectly. I thought my view was correct. You know